Share the page. I feel like we haven't gone over this text for ages. Get that up. No, that's all good. There we go. I don't know why when you watch this back, I'm always on there anyway, and there's usually two of me now. Can you see two of me now?
Sometimes I can, but not at the moment. No.
For me, I can only see the one when I do that. So anyway, are we up for to 64? Does that make sense with everyone?
Yeah, I don't think we've done this one before.
Becomes like a sea that runs down into it. Going as like a small fish. You haven't heard that one, have you?
No.
Let's have a look. I think we're up to here, 57. If you want to be a great leader, you must learn to follow the Tao. Stop trying to control. I feel like we've done that one, eh?
I think we've done that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's 62.
I think we've done 58. Yeah.
I don't remember doing that one.
I don't remember doing that one.
Oh, it is. Not that it isn't there, but you'll be able to step out of its way. Give nothing to oppose, and it'll disappear by itself. I feel like we've done that one. Nothing better than my friend. It's tolerant like the sky. I don't think we've done that one. 59. Or have we?
I think we've done 59. I seem to remember that one.
I'm good.
Because I remember thinking about the government, you know, and how they're comparing it to the government now.
We'll go from 60. We'll just go through them pretty quick. All good. So we'll do a quick invocation. So close your eyes, focus on your breath. Put one hand over your heart, one hand over your lower abdomen. Feel the body. Deep breath in and slow exhale. And take a few of these breaths. And love the body. Love yourself, forgive yourself. Be compassionate towards yourself. Dear Divine, dear Tao. Dear Heaven, Mother Earth, and all humanity. Dear Yuanling, all enlightened beings, all our spiritual fathers and mothers in heaven and on earth, to all divine spiritual transmissions, please turn on. To all the Taoist sages, Lao Tzu's lineage and Lao Tzu, please help us to understand the wisdom in this timeless text. We're truly grateful. Please forgive us for our mistakes in this life and past lives. We forgive anyone that's ever hurt or harmed us. We join as one in love, peace, harmony. I love my heart and soul. I love all humanity. Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, harmony. Love, peace, harmony. Dear Guan Yin, Amitofu Dashiji Buddha, Dashiji Pusa, and the 87 Buddhas of Tao Te Ching, please be with us. We love on and appreciate you. Okay, chapter 60. Governing a large country is like frying a small fish. You spoil it with too much poking. Center your country in the Tao, and evil will have no power. Not that it isn't there, but you'll be able to step out of its way. Give evil nothing to oppose, and it will disappear by itself. Governing a large country is like frying a small fish. You spoil it with too much poking. This is the same, I think, being a parent. Okay, sometimes you just got to let kids, or in any relationship. Sometimes we spend so much time trying to make the other person happy, or trying to tell people what to do, or think we know what's best for them. Too much poking. Okay, we end up pushing them the other way. Center your country in the Tao and evil will have no power. Remember, the Tao is outside, above the yin yang world. Evil and goodness are on the battlefield. Not that evil isn't there, but you'll be able to step out of its way. Give evil nothing to oppose and it will disappear by itself. Beautiful. When a country obtains great power, it becomes like the sea. All streams run downward into it. The more powerful it grows, the greater the need for humility. Pretty sure we've gone over this one. Humility means trusting the Tao, thus never needing to be defensive. It's a beautiful quote. Sorry, a beautiful line. A great nation is like a great man. When he makes a mistake, he realizes it. Having realized it, he admits it. Having admitted it, he corrects it. He considers those who point out his faults as his most benevolent teachers. He thinks of his enemy as the shadow that he himself casts. If a nation is centered in the Tao, if it nourishes its own people and doesn't meddle in the affairs of others, it will be a light to all nations in the world. Yeah, Debbie, you were right, 62. The Tao is the center of the universe, the good man's treasure, the bad man's refuge. Think about that. Everybody is at the center of the universe. Okay. You think of everything in the universe, everything's perspective is from the center out. Okay. And we all carry Tao at the center of our being. So Tao is the center of the universe. The good man's treasure, the bad man's refuge. Honors can be bought with fine words. Respect can be won with good deeds. But the Tao is beyond all value and no one can achieve it. Thus, when a leader is chosen, don't offer to help him with your wealth or expertise. Offer instead to teach him about the Tao. Why did the ancient masters esteem the Tao? Because being one with the Tao, when you seek, you find. When you make a mistake, you are forgiven. That is why everybody loves it. We've done that one as well. This must be the last one. It is. Sorry, guys. 64. What is rooted is easy to nourish. What is recent is easy to correct. What is brittle is easy to break. What is small is easy to scatter. Prevent trouble before it arises. Put things in order before they exist. The giant pine tree grows from a tiny sprout. The journey of 1,000 miles starts beneath your feet. Rushing into action, you fail. Trying to grasp things, you lose them. Forcing a project to completion, you ruin what was almost ripe. Therefore, the master takes action by letting things take their course. He remains as calm at the beginning as calm at the end as at the beginning. He has nothing, thus has nothing to lose. What he desires is non-desire. What he learns is to unlearn. He simply reminds people of who they have always been. He cares about nothing but the Tao. Thus he can care for all things. This is a beautiful chapter. What is rooted is easily nourished. Think about a tree. Think about us, okay? If we have a strong foundation and we are strong on the earth, we are nourished by the earth. What is recent is easy to correct. You know, I've experienced this when I was younger, and there's people in my life who used to always do this. They would just think that something would just go away. And all it does is it just gains momentum and weight. So what is recent is easy to correct. We can all learn from this. This is big for me as well, okay? Everything we're reading here. The key is going over this text and trying to apply it every day. I'll share a story with something that happened with me yesterday, actually, which is quite interesting. What is brittle is easy to break. What is small is easy to scatter. Brittle, there, like you look at a tree that's old and brittle, and it gets a lot of snows, it gets a lot of snow on, the weight of the snow snaps the tree, okay? But if it's young and flexible, it'll bend, the snow will fall off and it'll just spring back. But that goes for your mindset as well, okay? We're too rigid, we're too brittle, or too fragile. We don't know who we are. We're easy to break, okay? Other people can break us, we can break ourselves, we beat ourselves up. So everything he's talking to here is physical and mental and spiritual. What is small is easy to scatter. Prevent trouble before it arises. This is a present moment teaching. A friend of mine who we live with got a dog trainer, and he said, you need to be so on the ball with your dog, so present with the dog, that you can see when the dog is going to do what it does. It has like what's the name for it? It's like fear aggression. It goes for other dogs and things like that. He's a cavoodle, one of my dog's pups. He said, if you think the dog is, if you see a kid walking past or a dog, or you think it's something that's going to trigger him, you need to make him know he's safe, he's okay, and you've got the situation. You've got to be on the ball. And it's the same here. Prevent trouble before it arises. You don't know when trouble's coming if you are totally not there. So being fully present, panoramic awareness, understanding how you're feeling, your inner space and your environment, is present moment awareness. Put things in order before they exist. Okay, the giant pine tree grows from a tiny sprout. So much wisdom in that as well. You think of planting negative seeds, and we don't address them straight away. We don't ask for forgiveness, or we don't try and correct them. Every seed carries the potential of a forest. That's how fast these negative seeds can grow out of control. And never underestimate the power of a good deed. Okay, good deeds, it's exactly the same. You never know, in some future lifetime, it could end the war, or it could save the world. The journey of 1,000 miles starts beneath your feet. Some other texts say start with one step. Okay, rushing into action, you fail. And I'm seeing that a lot lately in the communities where we are around here. And funny, because I listened to one of Tom Barnett's videos today. I haven't listened to Tom for a while. He hasn't been around. We were going to do another interview soon, but his video today I thought was great. And that's what he said. He talks about how a lot of the males that he's speaking to are saying that, we need to be on the front line, and we need to, be able to go in there and fight and this, that, and the other. And he said that's toxic masculinity. Okay, like a true masculine energy is calm. So I don't have to go down that road, but rushing into action, you fail. That goes for male and female. If we're just hot-headed and we're emotional, it's not going to work. Trying to grasp things, you lose them. Okay, this is like the trying to float in a pool, you sink. Trying to sink in a pool, you float. Trying to catch a butterfly and keep hold of it, it'll fly away. And the second that you say go and be free, it'll come back and land on your shoulder or your nose or something. So trying to grasp things, attachments push them away from you. Trying to control, it's only the mind that wants to control. Trying to grasp things, you lose them. Forcing a project, this is beautiful. Forcing a project to completion, you ruin what was almost ripe. How many people have done that in a rush to get something done? And if you'd have just been a bit more persistent with consistency, it could have been something way more. Therefore, the master takes action, never is lazy, is always conscious. but he takes action by letting things take their course. The Zen tradition, every snowflake falls perfectly in its place. They understand that the Tao is order. You know, I was reflecting today, I'm going to do a video, and I've got a few videos I want to do actually. But I was reflecting today, I was just driving with Danielle and Bo. We'd just been to a shopping centre to go to Bunnings. I was driving back and I was thinking of how they managed to get people to actually believe in randomness for so long. Like, the thought of that is literally mind-boggling. I remember once, I've never ran over many animals. Whenever I get in the car, I'll always invoke any animals that I'm going to come across. And my shifus, I turn on All They Love, Peace, Harmony, Treasures, and I chant. And going around Australia, we literally never hit an animal, okay? Never ran over anything. I always ask the insects, everything to please get out the way and make a clear path so we don't harm anything. In my whole life, I've ran over a bush turkey and an owl, and it was heartbreaking, but that was when I never did the invocation, okay? And I remember with the owl, I'm sharing this, there's a reason I'm sharing this. I took off early in the morning. It was still dark when I was in Nelson Bay, and I had the ladder on my roof, and I just was driving really slow, just taking off. I was doing like maybe 40 Ks, and where my headlights were lighting up the road, I just saw the owl just go like that, and I heard the most gentle dunk. So I slowed down and I looked up, and I couldn't see anything. And I thought I was going slow, and it sounded like it barely hit anything. So I carried on going. And in the next traffic lights I got to, when I stopped the car, the poor thing slid down my windscreen. So I pulled over and I put my heaters on full whack on because it was on the window. And I did the Ami Tofu practice, and I was just blessing. I was there for like 20 minutes, just chanting for this owl. And then I opened my eyes and it was still there. So I went to see if it was alive. It was dead. And I just remember I was heartbroken. I really felt sad, but I did everything I could to bless its journey. But I remember picking it up. It didn't have a mark on it. And it was so perfect. It was the most perfect thing I've ever seen in my life. And I thought, only God could make something this perfect. And when I picked it up, I don't know if you've ever held an owl. It weighed nothing. Literally, my phone felt heavier than the owl. It was like so light. It was amazing. And going back to the randomness, I just think, to think that everything just, the belief in like a big bang, and then everything just fell into order. And then these beautiful biological things came from nothing. It's like just going on a building site and throwing bricks everywhere and just expecting them to create, a masterpiece. So the Taoists and the Zen, it's a spiritual being, knows that there is a grand intelligence and everything is perfect. So therefore, the master takes action by letting things take their course. He remains as calm at the end as he did in the beginning. See, even these sentences, they can really serve us in our daily life. He has nothing, thus has nothing to lose. In Buddhism, I heard a Rinpoche once say, a powerful mantra is to chant every day, I need nothing. I need nothing. And think about that, reflect on that. It's a very powerful mantra. It's desires that make us think we need this, and this. What he desires is non-desire. What he learns is to unlearn. This is the pursuit of the Tao. He simply reminds people of who they have always been. He cares about nothing but the Tao. Thus, he can care for all things. The things are the separation, okay? The manifestation, the expression of the oneness. So to care only about the oneness, which we used to go over in the beginning of this chapter, this text is a constant relationship between the unmanifested and the physical world. To care for the unmanifested that oneness is everything. Okay, if you have two parties, A and B, and they're saying this is what's wrong and that's what's wrong, and you think, oh mate, that was actually out of order what A did to B, and maybe then again maybe B had this and that. If you are with one with the Tao, okay, you are serving everything the same by nourishing and caring for the one thing that connects everything. Does anyone have any questions on that? It's quite a big chapter. There's a lot in that chapter.
Yeah, I just wanted to share, Nick, that really it is a really beautiful text, and it really is, in essence, what the Tao is. The Tao is when it says, you know, about when you rush things, like flow with the Tao, even right till the end. You know, the detachment. You know, like it really has it all in a nutshell. It really is saying flow with the Tao, and all will be as it's meant to be, perfect.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing. And it's true, you know, it's like, as I said, the difference between the manifest of the world and the world, and also flowing with nature or the mind, the ego. You know, it's only the ego that wants to rush things or thinks in time, thinks that it has to get somewhere by a certain time, otherwise X, Y, Z will happen. Whereas once that's gone, you're just one with whatever manifests. Anyone else? Okay, 65. The ancient masters didn't try to educate the people, but kindly taught them to not know. When they think that they know the answers, people are difficult to guide. When they know that they don't know, people can find their own way. If you want to learn how to govern, avoid being clever or rich. The simplest pattern is the clearest. Content with an ordinary life, you can show all people the way back to their own true nature. This second sentence where he says, when they think that they know the answers, people are difficult to guide. It reminded me of the Dhammapada. If you guys have got a pen and paper, write down the Dhammapada by Thomas Byron, as in Byron Bay. The Dhammapada by Thomas Byron. If you don't, remind me and I'll put it in the messenger group. It's a beautiful translation of the Dhammapada. I've got a few Dhammapadas. Dhammapadas is basically the Buddha's equivalent to the Tao Te Ching. Okay, it's all the Buddha's teachings. And he does a chapter on the fool. Okay, it's pretty epic. So the ancient masters didn't try to educate the people. Again, Dhammapada is only a small book. They didn't try to educate the people, mind, but kindly taught them to not know. Getting taught to unlearn is actually a great way to get rid of the ego. When they think that they know the answers, people are difficult to guide. You think about it in our daily life. You know, someone says something, and you think, I don't agree with that. Okay, which is totally fine, by the way. But you'll be difficult to guide. You know, a master might test it's very, very hard traditionally to find a true master, because they'll get you to do things you don't want to do. In India, there's gurus who do ridiculous things on purpose. They actually act the fool. They do things so that you think they're stupid. And that's a one way to filter out the bad disciples from the true disciples, because there's a certain degree of understanding a disciple needs to find a master traditionally in some parts of the world. I think I might have shared it with you again. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but there was a story in the Buddhist tradition of a master, and he's got a school, a lot of students there, and within the first week he comes out and he says, we've got no food, so we're going to have to go and kill a dog or something, and we're going to have to eat that for the food today, and walks out. And everyone starts looking at each other, and some people say he's already broke the precepts straight away by killing an animal, blah, blah, blah. And, 80% of them leave. This is not the right teacher. And he comes back in and he says, okay, the first breeze has blown away the weak students. Now I can get to work with the true disciples. So I'm not saying that's the right way. I think in today's world, if you had that approach, you wouldn't have anyone. So I think there's every master's got their own way. But we can understand what this sentence is pointing at. When they think they know all the answers, people are difficult to guide. In the Zen, 101 Zen Stories, which is a great book in Japanese Zen, a Western scholar comes to see a Japanese master, and he says, "Do you want a tea?" He says, "Yep." So he starts pouring his cup of tea, and it fills and then starts overflowing, and he just continues to pour it. And the Western scholar says, the cup's full, and he said, "This cup is like your mind, your brain. If you don't empty it, I've got nothing to teach you. There's nothing I can put in there." Okay. When they know, when they know that they don't know, people can find their own way. Okay. Again, a lot of wisdom in that. To know that we don't understand the ultimate wisdom, it's infinite. People can find their own way. If you want to learn how to govern, avoid being clever or rich. That's a good one. I've just listened to a great teaching by Osho. A lot of people don't like Osho. A lot of people watch the documentary and what have you, and they think he was a cult and all the rest of it. I've been listening to Osho for years, and I love Osho. And the audio book I've got at the minute that I've been listening to for a while, because it's 72 hours long, is probably the best compilation of Osho that I've ever come across. And he's talking about Atisha. Atisha is a great sage. I've got a book where the Dalai Lama talks about it. Atisha is a Tibetan master, ancient master from the past, who reached enlightenment from 3 enlightened beings. They called him the thrice great. And it's his sutras that Osho's going over. It's 10 points of mind training. And I'm just bringing it up here. If you want to learn how to govern, avoid being clever or rich, he actually says in one of his sutras is, don't boast. And Osho, when he explains that, he nails it. He's basically saying, you will achieve greatness. You will achieve things by applying the practice, because it is a science. If you do the practice, you are diligent, you will attain things. You will be able to do things that people think are miracles, okay? But you don't boast. He said, this is the role of a master. If you come to the master and say, "Master, I've actually got a real urge to tell people and I feel like I'm better than others," he said, the master will say, "Don't worry about it, just drop that. Okay, it's not important." The master's role is to tell you to drop everything. He says, you might bring nirvana to the master. You might say, "Master, I've attained the nirvana." And even though the master, it would be over the moon, happy for you, he would say, "Don't worry about that, just drop that," so that you can constantly stay detached and humble. So if you want to learn how to govern, avoid being clever or rich. The simplest pattern is the clearest. Da Dao Jurgen, the big way is extremely simple. Okay, the simplest pattern is the clearest. Why as well? Because everybody can understand it. It's like the Master Xiao, I think his name is, the slapping guy, who's in prison now. Unfortunately, he when he went to China and went to all these mountains, he said he was learning different pressure points, acupressure, and doing needling on himself and all the rest of it. He was learning very fast. But he said the higher he went, the higher the wisdom he learned from the highest sages and doctors, the simpler it was. You need a formula that you can share to anyone within 5 minutes, and they can do it themselves. But the big way is extremely simple. It's the most effective as well. Content with an ordinary life, you can show all people the way back to their own true nature, their yuanxian, the Tao within them. Does anyone want to share anything on that? Okay. This will be the last one. And we're going to do practice. All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. All streams flow down to the sea because the sea is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. Okay. You only just took that away from this whole text and lived by that, you'd gain so much. Master Shah says power is given. Okay. Power is given and it can be taken away by heaven, and it's only given through humility. As soon as you get a big head, it's taken away from you. And you know, when you look at these sages like Jesus, Buddha, Lao Tzu, they stand out because they're humble. You think of someone who's genuinely humble in the world and is not living from their ego, they stand out because everyone's living from the ego and no one's no one's humble. If you learn to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. Okay, just like all streams flow to the sea. If you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn how to follow them. The master is above the people and no one feels oppressed. Okay, that is so powerful. A true master, nobody below them will ever feel oppressed. She goes ahead of the people and no one feels manipulated. The whole world is grateful to her because she competes with no one. No one can compete with her. So beautiful, that there chapter. Does anyone have anything to share on that?
Yes, I do. Only just reiterating that if she really, like the text says, a bit like what it says in the Bible, I can only refer it to Jesus as teachings where, you know, you what you expect from others, you must do yourself.
Absolutely.
And so so that's how I see it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Anyone else? They're lovely chapters, then. They're really, really nice chapters. I'm just trying to find what I wrote out before for this week's mantra. And we'll do a practice. Because I heard some wisdom this week, listening to one of Master Shah's older books. That was just epic. It was so amazing. So I thought we'll do a Jung practice. I'm just trying to find where that Jung mantra is. Yeah, I'll put that all over the place tonight, guys. I'm sorry. You know, you'll laugh if I told you why I was a little bit late tonight. I actually got a facial off Danielle. My goodness, how was that? She said that you're getting a facial tonight. I was like, okay, sweet. Here we go. Found it. Yeah, here we go. So the wisdom that I heard this week off Master Shah, or last week, should I say, was he said that in reflexology, right, the ears are a map of the whole body, the feet are a map of the whole body, but he said the part of the body which is a map of all the spaces in the body, is the Jung. Now, honestly, that wisdom really blew my mind. This is the Jung area. The Jung is this, where my arrow is, the very center. So you go from the navel to the Ming Men, which is directly behind the navel. The very middle line, the very middle of that line is the Konggong. Okay. The Konggong is a sacred temple in the body. So where my little arrow is there, it's Konggong in the middle. If you go directly back to the back, you got the Ming Men. If you come down to the base of the spine, there's the Wei Lu. Okay, Wei Lu is two invisible holes in the base of the spine where energy enters and travels up the spine. Okay, so you've got the Konggong, Ming Men, Wei Lu, Hui Yin. Okay, the Hui Yin is an acupuncture point at the base of the body, right? In between the genitals and the anus. The Ba Hui is up here. So the Ba Hui is heaven's connection in. The Hui Yin is Mother Earth's. The Ming Men is Tao, the Tao point in the body. Okay. So you got Konggong, Ming Men, Wei Lu, Hui Yin. This back bottom part of the body, and he expanded it to the heels as well, but we're not going to go there just yet. This section here is the Jung. Okay, the Jung is the core of life, and he said the Jung is the reflexology, like the map of all the spaces in the body. So when we work the Jung, we build the Jung, everything works. So think about this, right? You have a massive energy in the Jung. The Jung also consists of the first three soul houses, the Ming Men and the Kundalini, the Snow Mountain area. Okay. So when you build these areas, everything works. Okay. You've got the Ren and Du meridians. The Ren and Du meridians come from the Jung area. So they're the two main meridian lines in the body. You've got the yin yang energy circles, which is yin is the chi channel, is for healing everything in the body, which is hei hong hong ga shi wong yo, which is up the middle, down the back. And then the jing channel, which is up the back and down the middle, is rejuvenation. That rejuvenates. So if you imagine like imagine having a candle, right? And the energy is burning the candle down, melting the candle. So we heal the body. Hey hong hong ga shi wong yo. When the oil lamp's getting full, rejuvenation by chanting yo wongi shi a hong hong hey. We are adding wax to the candle. Okay, that's one analogy that you can use. The Shen channel, which is advanced, we can go on that another later on, is for immortality. That is Wong Hei Hong Yo. That's Wong is the top, Hei is the bottom, Hong, Wong Hei Hong, Hong is the middle, the core, the Konggong. So energy comes down and up, meets in the Konggong, comes back to the Ming Men, and then one goes up, one goes down. So it's like a figure eight. Wong Hei Hong Yo, like that. But we can do that later on. So this mantra that we're going to chant, this book, I'm sorry to keep throwing books at you guys. You don't have to get this. This is the Tao 3 book. And the mantra in this book that we can go over actually is to build the longevity body in one mantra. It's basically like all Master Sha's mantras in one mantra. Okay, but it's good to have a foundation before you go on that. Just keep sticking with the books that you've got for now as a foundation. We can always just keep moving forward. So what does this mantra mean? It's a cool mantra. It's quite a fun mantra. Bao Yan Shui. We've been over that. Bao Yan Shui means to literally means the literal translation is to hold and visualize golden light in the lower abdomen. But it also means hold and focus on one. Okay, so focus on the Tao, which is one, in the lower abdomen. Yi Ju Shijung means one is Jung, the core of one's life, which is Tao. And then Kong Gong Ming Men Wei Lu Hui Yin Jung. What that is saying is this: Kongon area, Ming Men, Hui Lu, Hui Yin Jung, the whole Jung. And then we go, I might make a space between these. So Kongon, put a space in there, sorry guys. Kongon Ming Men Wei Lu Hui Yin Jung Ren Jung Di Jung Qian Jung Dao Jung 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 Dao Kong Kong. What it means is Kongon Ming Men Wei Lu Wei Yin Jung is the Jung. Ren Jung is humanity's Jung, humanity's core of life. Di Jung is Mother Earth's Jung. Tian Jung is heaven's Jung. Dao Jung is Dao's Jung. And then it's Jung, Jung, Dao Kong Kong. These are different expressions of stages of emptiness. Okay, so you've got Jung, Dao, Kong Kong, complete emptiness in the body. So chanting this mantra actually moves energy like this around, builds the core of your life, humanity's life, Mother Earth's life, heaven, and the Tao. Okay, so I'll chant it a few times. You just play with it. But this is a really powerful mantra. If you guys chant it, same with them all. Okay, don't get overwhelmed with mantras. But I share different mantras with you guys just because you might want to come back to them. You might want to give them a go. You might feel a little bit ungrounded. You might want to just build your Jung. Remember, sometimes, like one of my blockages has been the feeling of, if I'm going to do a meditation, I need to do an hour or 2 hours meditation, and that might stop me doing a meditation. But just imagine you're feeling a bit flat. You know what? Just going to go to the bedroom for 5 minutes. Dear Divine and Tao, please help build my Jung. I love you, honey. Appreciate it. Dear my Jung, I love you. Bao Yan Shou, we tap your body. Yi Ji Shi Jung. Kong Gong Ming Men Wei Lu Wei Yin Jung. Ren Jung Di Jung Qian Jung Dao Jung 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 Dao Kong Kong. If you did that once or twice, I'm telling you now, you'd feel rejuvenated. Okay, so we can just use these and use them whenever, but I'm just sharing them so that you can have an idea. Any questions?
Can you record it?
Yeah, I can record anything, but it's recorded on here as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to play a mantra for you guys next week, which is the mantra from this book. Okay. Yeah, I think you guys will love it. So get comfortable. If you want to stand up, you can stand up. If you want to tap the body, you can. If you want to put your hands in the yin yang palm position behind your back. So remember that typically speaking, when you put your hands behind your back in the yin yang palm position, which is to grab your left thumb with your right hand, wrap it over, powerful mudra. If you relax your body, your hands should fall naturally over this area, which is the Kundalini or snow mountain, the base of the tailbone. So if you gently just tap, you don't have to be tense. You can just relax, pull it away, just let it fall, and just see light in this area. You don't have to like break any records or for going fast. Just gentle, gentle, bringing your awareness there. You'll build this area. So the Jung is vitally important, okay? From this area as well, as this builds in energy and your Jin Dan starts growing, you are gonna, the first chakra, right? As this builds, you're gonna be pumping like a foot pump, light up this center channel, which is gonna clear so many blockages. Remember, when the space is clear, the matter clears. So it's also going to pump energy and light up your spine and your wide jaw. And what does that do? That opens spiritual channels. Okay, it's key for longevity. It nourishes your kidneys. It nourishes the brain. Next week as well, I think we're going to do a brain exercise. A lot of people I'm speaking to at the minute are a little bit foggy and a little bit forgetful and things like that. So there's a beautiful mantra from Master Guo, which is a code, sacred code. Ling Yao Chi 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 Jo Ling Ba, Ling Yao Chi 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 Jo A A Tse Tse. So Ling Yao Chi 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 vibrates the corpus callosum in the middle. Jo Ling Ba, left brain. Jo A A Tse Tse vibrates the right brain. And it's fascinating. I did this in Nelson Bay with the group when I was there. And I said, how do you feel after that? And they all said, I felt like my head was just going to go in a good way. And then we always channel energy back down, stimulates the mind big time. So we'll stay with this mantra. So I'll just chant, you guys chant along with me if you want to. Give it a go. If not, just spend time focusing in that area. See energy moving in a circular motion, expanding, nourishing your whole body. Dear this sacred Tao mantra, please bless us. Dear our Jung, humanity's Jung, Mother Earth's Jung, heaven's Jung, Tao's Jung, please may we serve you. Dear any sages linked to this mantra, please bless this practice. We are so grateful. Body power, as I said, you can tap or you can just hold your hands over your lower abdomen or over your Jung area. And sound visualization, light coming from everywhere, heaven, earth, humanity, all the sages, and nourishing our being, making us strong, grounded, so that we can serve ourselves, our family, our communities, the world. Bao Yuan Shou Yi Ju Shi Zhong Kong Gong Ming Men Wei Lu Hui Yin Zhong Ren Zhong Di Zhong Tian Zhong Dao Zhong 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 Dao Kong Kong. We can tap gently if you want. Try that. Bao Yuan Shou Yi Ju Shi Zhong Kong Gong Ming Men Wei Lu Wei Yin Zhong Ren Zhong Di Zhong Tian Zhong Dao Zhong 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 Dao Kong Kong. Standing up's a good time to do a practice like this because this is a very active practice. Yeah, and then we can sit down and do a yin practice after this. Bao Yuan Shou Yi Ju Shi Zhong Kong Gong Ming Men Wei Lu Hui Yin Zhong Ren Zhong Di Zhong Tian Zhong Dao Zhong 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 Dao Kong Kong. Bao Yuan Shou Yi Ju Shi Zhong Kong Gong Ming Men Hui Lu Hui Yin Zhong Ren Zhong Di Zhong Tian Zhong Dao Zhong 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 Dao Kong Kong. Bao Yuan Shui. Keep your focus on the Tao, on oneness. Yi Ju Shi Zhong. Zhong is the core of all life. Kong Gong, middle sacred temple. Ming Men, Tao point in the body. Hui Lu, the entrance to the spinal column. Hui Yin, acupuncture point at the base of the body. Zhong, all is the Zhong. Ren Zhong, humanity's Zhong. Di Zhong, Mother Earth's Zhong. Tian Zhong, heaven's Zhong. Tao Zhong. Core, Tao, emptiness. Bao Yan Shui, Yi Ju Shi Zhong. Kong Gong Ming Men Wei Lu Hui Yin Zhong. Ren Zhong Di Zhong. Qian Zhong Dao Zhong. Zhong Dao Kong. Bao Yuan Shui, Yi Ju Shi Zhong. Kong Gong Ming Men Hui Lu Hui Yin Zhong. Ren Zhong Di Zhong. Qian Zhong Dao Zhong. Zhong Dao Kong. Silently. Bao Yuan Shui, Yi Ju Shi Zhong. Kong Gong Ming Men Wei Lu Hui Yin Zhong. Ren Zhong Di Zhong. Qian Zhong Dao Zhong. Zhong Dao Kong. When we chant Ren Zhong, Di Zhong, Qian Zhong, Dao Zhong, we are actually calling in the Zhong, the core of the earth, humanity, the earth, heaven, and the Tao. And that's what's building our Zhong. We're serving their Zhong, they're serving our Zhong. So never limit what the mind sees as light. How vast is this landscape? How vast is this plane we're on? How vast are the heavens? How vast is the Tao? See light coming to our Zhong area in ways you've never seen before. Bao Yuan Shui, and focus on the Tao. Yi Ju Shi Zhong. Kong Gong Ming Men Wei Lu Hui Yin Zhong. Ren Zhong Di Zhong. Qian Zhong Dao Zhong. Zhong Dao Kong. See your oil lamp being filled, which is your life essence, the life force. See this light nourishing your skin. See your skin glowing. See it nourishing your organs, rejuvenating your cells, strengthening your bones, clearing your mind, opening your heart. Relieving any traumas. The light is healing traumas. Feel the body becoming really grounded. No rigidity in the body and the mind. Detached and free. Bao Yuan Shui, Yi Ju Shi Zhong. Kong Gong Ming Men Wei Lu Hui Yin Zhong. Ren Zhong Di Zhong. Qian Zhong Dao Zhong. Zhong Dao Kong. Bao Yuan Shui, Yi Ju Shi Zhong. 空公明门为律会言中，人中地中，天中道中，中中道空空。Everyone relax and make a request. I'm going to offer a blessing. And call in 3, call in 5 loved ones. See them happy, peaceful, grounded, open to receive, grateful. You don't have to make a request for these souls you've called in. We're just going to ask heaven to bless where is most appropriate. But you can make a request or surrender the request to heaven. Don't limit your request. It can be for spiritual, emotional, mental, energetic, physical, body, finances, or relationships. And when you've made your request, just surrender it, release it, and just feel grateful and be open to receive. Yeah, Guanyin, 87 Buddhas, Ami Tofu, Pure Land Buddhas, please bless everyone on the line as appropriate. 千数千年大智大悲观大圆满无碍大悲心陀罗尼，千数千年大智大悲观大圆满无碍大悲心陀罗尼，千数千年大智大悲观大圆满无碍大悲心陀罗尼。南无喝了达努度来耶耶，南无我利耶，波罗揭谛娑本来耶，菩提萨埵婆耶摩诃萨埵婆耶摩诃迦卢尼迦耶。安萨本拉法伊苏德努的夏，那么西吉里多伊蒙古列波罗揭谛西佛拉伦托波那么努勒金西西里摩诃本多萨米。萨布乌多多西蓬我西恩萨布萨多南摩婆萨多南摩婆切摩法特多大吉多阿摩婆罗西卢迦迪迦罗迪西里。摩诃菩提萨埵萨婆萨婆摩拉摩拉摩西摩西里多耶九鲁九鲁迦曼多罗多罗法西耶帝摩诃法西耶帝多罗多罗塞里尼。须佛拉耶揭拉摩摩法摩拉摩地利西西西努西努婆拉香法拉谢利法香法香佛拉谢耶。呼噜呼噜摩噜呼噜呼噜西里梭罗梭罗西里西里梭罗梭罗不耶不耶不耶不耶。弥地利耶努拉金西沙利森尼诺波耶摩那娑婆呼西多耶娑婆呼摩诃西多耶娑婆呼西多耶娑本来娑婆呼努拉金西娑婆呼摩那罗罗娑婆呼。西来香格摩契耶娑婆诃娑婆摩诃维西多耶娑婆诃西西拉维西多耶娑婆诃波多摩西西多耶娑婆诃努拉金吉本杰拉娑婆诃摩巴利圣杰拉耶娑婆诃。南无喝了达那的拉耶，南无我利耶，波罗揭谛娑本来耶娑婆诃，悉达多曼多拉本多耶娑婆诃。金刚神庄严娑婆诃，雄文神庄严娑婆诃，摩羯神庄严娑婆诃，安波居利西利西娑婆诃。千数千年。大慈大悲，救苦救难，广大圆满，观世音菩萨，领会生死，乾观净王。阿弥陀佛 Master 沙哟咿呀哟哟 Hey ya you ya you ya hey you ya you ye he ya you ya you hey ya you ya you hey ya you hey ya you hey ya you ya hey you ya you ya you hey you. Deep breath in. Breathe in the light and exhale, relax. Lesson continue silently. Relax. Let go of any of your worries, your fears, your anxieties. Let go of all the past and any stories your mind is telling you of the future. And be loving and grateful to everything that's shared in this present moment with us. Everything, everywhere. Dear blessing, please rest. And just sit with the breath for a few minutes. And let's share doing, not doing, which is the core of Lao Tzu's teaching. Wu Wei. Consciously do nothing. May find that you naturally want to smile when we do Wu Wei. It's incredible when we create a space how unimportant things become that we think are usually important in our day. And how peaceful we can actually feel. There's no rush, but I'm going to allow anyone to share anything or ask any questions. If you don't want to share or you don't want to ask any questions, that's fine. If you're in a nice meditative space and you hear people talking in the line, asking questions, just stay in the space, no attachments. I'm going to stop the recording now. Let's get stopped.